welcome into another episode of Grit, a hockey
Limp Bizkit
podcast.
podcast.
No, okay. No, we're not talking about Limp Bizkit. I tell you what we are talking about. We are your
Pokemon
number one.
TCG.
We are your number one source for Magic the Gathering, Pokemon trading card game, Runeterra, Hearthstone, Digimon, Gwent, The Witcher card game, Duel Masters, Bakugan, Shadowverse, Netrunner, Elder Scrolls Legends, cards, Force of Will, Flesh and Blood, Dragon Ball Z trading card game, Lord of the Rings trading card game, Final Fantasy trading card game, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu Yu Hakusho trading card game, Returnal, Keyforge, Star Wars, Legends of the Five Rings, the ever relevant.
If he doesn't say Hunter
totally
trading
not,
card game, I'm beating someone's ass.
totally not defunct game, Artifact, the Hunter card game, and Sword Girls, especially
Can't believe
Sword
you forgot
Girls.
Harry Potter.
Especially
My
Sword
God.
Girls. Fuck Harry Potter. No turfs here.
No, we love. Okay, the thing is, we're covering so much shit that we had to leave Harry Potter out because our Harry Potter special is dead. They died.
They died. It astounds me that there's that many card games that people play, but I guess I'm not that surprised. I've never heard of Sword Girls, but I am interested.
You seem to have not made mention of the new Genshin Impact card game.
It does have an intriguing title, doesn't it?
I like both of these things.
Swords and girls. Are they actually making a card game for Genshin Impact?
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me? The bad reffing. Just kidding. It's the opposite. Refs are bad. They've always been bad. And they've been bad in these Stanley Cup playoffs.
What if I told you I haven't watched a single game of hockey since the Avs got on?
Well,
me too.
Me too.
Well, here, this is how we just break it down. The refs have been allowing murder to happen, and they just don't care.
I can't. Okay, so listen. You just posted pictures of the booster packs for the Genshin Impact card game. And at the top left of the packs, it just says card ass, and that's exactly
Card
what it is.
ass.
You got that strong
Actually,
card
my-
ass.
There's
Oh,
booty
So
on these
I know that
cards.
I listened to the end of that last episode. Did y'all?
Yeah, I did. That was great.
Someone has to listen to it to the end.
I mean, we had to bring some sort of joy into the lives of people somehow after that disappointment that was round 2.
That ass beating that we received, yes.
So since the last time that we have recorded an episode, round 3 is done. It's the finals. 2 games of the Stanley Cup Finals have been played. So let's
Looking
go.
good for the Lightning.
It is looking good for the Lightning, but that's spoilers. So gonna have to
Oh,
ask you to
sorry.
walk that
You're
back.
off the cast.
Oh,
Badge and
Badge and
Spoiler?
gun.
Let me just make sure I'm not entirely stupid. While we prep for our results for round 3, take a look at the predictions that we made for that round. Talk about what happened, and make our predictions for the final, which I think we all probably have a very similar idea of how that's going to play out.
Yeah, Habs and 6.
The Habs in 6. Okay.
Avs and 6 in my fantasy world. So while he's
Yeah.
being unprepared, I have a conversational topic.
Sure.
okay.
As you have congratulated? Damn! As you have graduated from your first season of hockey, congratulations. How does it feel to not have hockey for a summer so far?
Weird.
Yeah.
How was your first off season there, bud?
It is strange.
The trades have
So-
even the trades have started rolling out already.
I personally feel a profound sense of loss and sadness. And yeah, I don't know. It fucking sucks watching hockey and then not having hockey to watch. I mean, I have hockey to watch, but I don't give a fuck. Either Canada wins or Florida wins, and neither of those things are good.
True.
The cheaters win or Canada wins.
Man, how can Florida win? It's hot there.
How do they win the ice game?
It's not
It's too
fair.
fucking hot there.
We all know that
They-
ice is not naturally occurring in Florida. They have no advantage whatsoever, and yet they still find a way to do it. That's heart. That's grit. That's pucks in
No.
deep.
No, it's cheating.
Speaking of heart, grit, and pucks in deep, the hometown of hockey, Winnipeg, apparently was 100 degrees today,
Oh,
Yep.
fuck.
Oh,
Damn.
which is actually worrisome if you know where Winnipeg is and what the deal with Winnipeg normally is. That shit
Well,
hitting
there.
triple digits is Monica's.
mm-hmm.
That is worrisome for sure.
I don't know. It's like how I reacted when somebody told me that Seattle was 110 degrees and dry as fuck. I was like, wait a minute. I know it's summer, but that place is normally just drenched in rain nonstop. What the fuck has happened?
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Winnipeg is in Canada.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Wait a minute.
It's like right by Minnesota, so like, you know, 100
Horse
degree,
fuck boy.
100 degrees is spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Now people can't even say, well, it's not getting warm, is it, anymore? So.
Well, guess what, guys? You fucked up.
Welcome into Grit, a climate change podcast.
Winnipeg went from a place where you'd be sitting outside and there'd be a negative 15-degree wind chill at all times.
Well, now that we're done talking about the Avalanche blue line, let's talk about the ozone. So I am ready with all of our picks and everything. Whenever we are ready to move on.
I'm never ready to move on to those picks because I know I lost.
I can't move on till next season.
Oh, fuck.
We'll review the picks at the end of next season. It's fine.
I will move on when Colorado has taken the fucking cup.
But yeah, Dakota, speaking of jokes that nobody laughed at, I posted that really funny Reddit thing a couple weeks ago and everybody ignored it. I was sad. It was Grubauer and Sod at a Red Rocks concert. And someone was like, oh, but they should have gone last night for Shaky Graves instead. And then someone was like, yeah, they saw plenty of that earlier this month. And I was like, oh.
Oh, I actually I did see it and I laughed and I was like, that's really fucking good, and just decided to not reply to it.
Yeah, I saw it, and then I was like, in a week from now, I'm gonna make a joke that Jake isn't gonna laugh at, so I'm preemptively just not gonna laugh at this.
Damn. Well, little did you know, there was a whole month of me not laughing at anything he said.
All right, so going into our picks from last week, the results first. Over in the West, as it were, we saw the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal won that series in 6 games.
Can you just like edit in like a sitcom clapping and cheering sound?
Just
Congratulations.
outcome.
just the stock, like, woo!
Yeah.
Um,
Or you
And then
just
maybe a
canned
Seinfeld
laughter.
bass line.
Hell yeah.
okay, but if I do that, I'm gonna add it into the speaking of jokes that nobody laughed at, I'm gonna add in the aww.
I mean, listen, if you want to do fucking sitcom sounds to the entire podcast, I'm down. But you either do it this one time or you go all the way, bitch.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Greta Hockey Sitcom.
We now have a live audience.
What's the deal with Seth Jones?
What's the deal with the Blackhawks 10 years ago?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
We'll get into
Yeah.
all of that and more here on Grit, the various TCG podcast.
No, that's
Sitcom.
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Alright. So for this first series, our predictions from last week-ish. Dylan, you said that Vegas was going to win in 5 games. This was incorrect, and therefore you get
Glad.
nothing.
You're wrong.
You get nothing, sir. Nothing.
You
Devin,
Thanks, sir.
lose.
you heard what Dylan said and said that sounds about right. You also said Vegas in 5.
Yep.
You also get nothing. Shame. All of that.
Mhm.
I was overconfident in Montreal's ability to get the job done, and I was full of spite and anger, so I said Montreal in 4. I think I should get points for trying, but I guess that's not the way it works.
Lose.
However, Indy and Jake, both of you said Montreal in 6. You got it right. You get
Yeah,
My
points.
you know.
God, they've done it.
You know, I've been remarkably consistent in my predictions so far this year. I'm quite proud of myself.
I get. I think on every board I've gotten at least one series correct, but it is sad over here. I wish I had more
Yeah, I mean, you're
points.
doing a great job, just not as good of a job as me, or even really close to it.
Not trying to say I'm better or anything, but I'm saying I'm better than you.
I actually no, sorry. Last round I had a sweep of 0 points, so that was
I got a point last time. It was the shit. I'm happy.
Yeah.
fun.
Well, with this win, I think it's statistically impossible for anybody to beat you, Jake. I think you are our inaugural predictions champion.
Sitcomclapping.mp4.
Grapefruittechnique.mp4.
Over on the other side, we had the Tampa Bay Lightning take on.
Oh, do I not get to give my acceptance speech yet?
Not yet. You have to you have to wait till it's all over. It's
This is a
thing.
formality that I don't feel like dealing with. Let's get it over with now. I want to clap myself on the back.
No.
There is no speech. You lose.
Seinfeld baseline.gif.
GIF.
So over on the other side, we had the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the New York Islanders, whose fans, I guess, decided that they were just going to litter the ice with trash in the last ever game played in Nassau Coliseum.
And hit the goalie with full beer.
Yeah, a fitting end to an era there in New York.
So will they fill their new rink with trash?
Yeah, the New York Islanders.
They will every night there's a game because the fans will be there.
Damn.
Ah.
Do
Damn.
do do do.
Oh, this is the duck gif I heard so much about.
We saw a slight increase in viewership when we were talking about the Rangers situation because we had New York in the name. We just had a bunch of New Yorkers come in, so you know at least one of those people is a holdover, and they are very angry at you right now.
Do 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 do.
No, so instead a roundabout starts.
So anyways, Tampa took that series in 7. Dylan, you said Tampa
Bitch.
was going to do it in 6. Very close. Very close. Not quite. You're getting there, though. You're learning. Devin, you said Tampa was going to take it, but in 4 games. You're halfway there. You almost did it.
He is indeed
Yes.
living on a prayer.
No,
I'm glad this is what this podcast is.
I know.
Just the whole time, a repeat of just the first half of the Seinfeld baseline, just in the background.
Oh,
Indy, you said that the Islanders were going to do it in 6. You were wrong.
I was very wrong.
I said that the Islanders were going to get it done in 4 because, once again, spite against the cheaters. And finally, Jake, you got it wrong. Tampa Bay in 5
Yeah.
is what you said. You were incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, I was close.
No. So anyways, we're now in the Stanley Cup Finals mode.
I don't know if we are. The rest of the hockey world is.
Yeah, fair enough. The first 2 games have already been played. Tampa Bay has won both of those games. I didn't actually see much of the second game myself, but I heard that Montreal actually put up a pretty good fight, but still lost 3-1. So let's do picks on that series real quick, boys. Dylan, between the Lightning and the Canadiens, who do you got?
I don't want the Lightning to win, so they're going to win in like 5.
Tampa in 5.
Yep.
Okay. Devin, what do you got?
I'm gonna say Lightning in 6, probably.
All right. Indy, where are you at?
I'm giving the Cheaters a sweep because they're too damn good compared to Montreal. Montreal does not have a way to combat the fact that the Cheaters have 4 acceptable lines.
Just a
Well,
casual 20
Danault,
million extra in cap.
yeah, a casual 20 extra million cap. Who gives a fuck about that? But the Canadians' star player Danault cannot stop 4 fucking lines because he can only play while only one line's playing. So, like, they're fucked.
Jake, who do you got?
Les Habitants in Sueve.
7.
I don't know. Not really. I'm gonna say it to go against the grain, but
Like, I want to go with my heart and say the Canadians win, but based on game 1 and 2, and no, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple series where we thought a certain outcome was gonna happen after game 1 and 2, and then it didn't. So
I just do not feel that.
I don't understand what you mean. Could you explain for the Colorado Avalanche fans in the room?
No, see, game 2 of the Avalanche series gave us scares, and then I said that there's no way that would happen again, and then it happened 5 times in a row afterwards.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, sorry, 3.
I'm gonna say Tampa in 5. Go Cheaters. Rest in piss Canada. I think that if Winnipeg were in this situation, I'd be a lot more on Team Canada's side. Unfortunately,
I do not think Winnipeg's better than the
well,
Habitant.
well, no. I mean, from a rooting perspective, I would definitely be. I'd be rooting for Winnipeg.
You hate the
right?
French.
Yes.
He hates our
That
fan
is
base because they brag about their 23 fucking cups.
They have 23
Yep.
cups. They got more cups than a fucking men's athletic team. I hate Canadians fans. I said
I hate all of Canada.
Oh,
It's not true. I like Canada.
how dare they have socialized healthcare when we don't?
Okay.
Bitches.
I'm gonna veer this off course real quick. As I do. The hockey guy on YouTube, famous YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
of hockey fame, said Fahrenheit in one of his videos, and somebody commented on the video and said, we use Celsius in Canada, dude. Wake the fuck up. And then somebody, like, he tweeted about it and was like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And some guy was like, I can understand why he wouldn't want more things in Canada to be Americanized. And then I was like, yeah, I wouldn't want Canada's rich, long-standing culture to get too affected by America. You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Canada definitely has its issues.
Canada is America with a slight French flavor. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. I think the whole
And
like
healthcare. I'm jealous.
cultural superiority thing is kind of annoying as fuck, and I wish they would not.
Also, they're part of America.
Yeah.
So hang on, this is part the real question though. Would you rather have to deal with Leaf fans or Canadian fans?
I would rather eat a chocolate gun.
Yeah, they're both awful. I hate them both. I wish them nothing but misery. But I guess if I had to choose one, I'd rather the Leafs have some success because
No.
The Leafs have some sex.
Yeah. That's all I heard, dude.
they have got so much pent up frustration they need to be able to let loose.
Oh, is that what Austin Matthews was trying to do? When he showed that chick his ass.
Listen, every time somebody on the broadcast talks about a guy ripping another guy out, you know what's actually happening.
Fucking That's why they re-signed Wayne Simmons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
He's
forgot
great at
that
rubbing
is
people
news.
out.
2 whole
Um,
years left. Amazing.
Yeah, but I'd rather the Leafs fans get to experience some glory and not have to
See,
like.
I don't agree with you.
No, I live
Fuck
off
Leafs
the fact
fans
that
more than
I live
Le
off the
Habitants
fact that they
fans.
sit there and suffer every year. I love the fact that their team has suffered for 50 fucking years.
Leafs fans are trash, dude.
You're not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you. Ideally, nobody gets to have any success in this theoretical, like, who do we want to win sort of situation. But if it was like some weird
Do you
situation,
really
where-
want Austin Matthews, Mr. Sailor Moon himself, to win a cup?
No, I don't. I'm just saying I would prefer it over having people go like, "Oh, is cup number 37."
T-Gens from upcountry.
I will say the Canadians have only truly 3 real cups, but the rest of them, you did it while you had 6 fucking teams in the league. Get the fuck out of here.
Actually, yeah, all the French Canada stuff in Letterkenny's super funny. So fuck the Canadians,
Exactly. There you go.
but fuck Toronto more.
Yeah.
Go Lightning! I love Florida and freedom,
Exactly.
but not
Go.
freedom of healthcare.
Go cheater.
Go cheaters. We get freedom fries, not French fries down here in America.
Sitcom cricket sounds dot
Yeah.
JPEG.
Yep.
All right. So another big thing that has been happening over the past couple weeks has been the NHL awards are being given out for various categories.
Whoa.
No.
I'm gonna go
But-
take a shit. You guys continue on without me.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, bye. You don't need me for this.
So the first most notable thing is that we need to call a 911 dispatch for one Mr. Cale McCarr because he was robbed by the voters, who are all very, very smart people, I guess, who gave Adam Fox the Defenseman of the Year trophy over Cale McCarr.
He played 11 more games and had 3 more points than Cale McCarr, Dakota.
Yep.
Clearly the better defenseman.
Clearly, the better
Bruh.
at playing defense.
We can just ignore the fact that Quinn Hughes had 11 more games and 3 more points than Cale McCarr last year and lost to him, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, my biggest argument
Fucking
is
Discord idiots. Sorry, anger was returning.
No, you're fine.
No, you're
Stupid
good.
fucking arguments.
My issue here is if he was such a great defenseman, where the fuck was his team for the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think that the biggest issue about Quinn Hughes not winning the Calder, but Adam Fox getting the Norris Trophy this year is that Quinn Hughes' biggest mistake was not playing for the New York Rangers.
Yeah, he played for Vancouver. He plays for
He
Vancouver.
plays for a West Coast Canadian team where if he'd simply been on the East Coast somewhere, he would have gotten the votes. That's entirely on
Yeah.
him. It's his fault, and he has no one to blame but himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All I have to
Fuck him.
blame is people of a fan base who take contrarian opinions on purpose to sound smart.
Yep.
Fuck you, idiot.
Victor Hedman finishing third is a fucking travesty, by the way.
Yeah, he sucked this year.
He was not good this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, no, like,
I thought you were gonna toss out tragedy, and I was like, oh, I'm waiting for it. It's a tragedy and a travesty. It's a tragedy.
but yeah, no. I don't know why he even got third. I don't know why. I don't understand it.
Reputation,
points,
third place.
3 more points and 11 more games.
Yep.
Yeah, I
McCarr
mean, the
missed
voters
a quarter
suck.
of
They
the
didn't watch the
season.
West that much.
They clearly fucking didn't. Every single time I heard anything about East Coast people talking about hockey, it was just like, yeah, we talk about Edmonton, and that's fucking it. But that's because
5 people didn't have
fucking-
Cale McCarr in their top 5.
They should all
those-
be
That's a joke.
arrested and thrown in prison right now.
That's a
I know.
joke. That's
Well-
a fucking joke.
One famous beat writer from Colorado was very frustrated about his vote getting taken away. And was very much mad at people who had votes and used them in the way that he didn't approve of.
Jesus.
Was it Mike Evans? Smile.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, that's the guy. All right,
Good
next
times,
trophy.
man.
Next trophy.
Um,
We're out of here.
So the next trophy that I wanted to talk about was the one that I thought was the most predictable thing in the world, because this one is voted on by the general managers. One of the two things voted on by them, the Vezina Trophy for the best goaltender of the year.
Yes.
It went to Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yes.
Yep, makes
Um,
sense.
And I'm not angry. Vasilevsky has more years to get another one.
I think Vasilevsky was the best goalie. I think that you can make an argument for Marc-Andre Fleury and Grubauer for 2 and 3. I think that the top 3 was absolutely correct, but I knew that because it's general managers voting and the dude has never won one, I knew that this year it was Flowers. I'm not mad at all. I think it makes a lot of sense.
But Joe Sakic most definitely sat there and was like, "No, Gruby gets first. Fuck y'all."
I mean, that's just defending your guys.
Actually, like if I remember, like they counted it up and like Varlamov had 1 first place and 1 third place voting, and I sat there and just was like, "Okay, you can tell who that first place was."
The Calder was an easy one, Rookie of the Year. It was Kaprizov. We knew it was going to happen.
The KHL star.
KHL star Kirill Kaprizov. We need to talk about that later. I'm actually going to add that to the notes, but that whole situation, holy
It was
shit.
amazing. I'm so happy. I was
Oh,
sitting here
man.
going like, "Man, Minnesota looks like they might be a little scary next year." Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think I would be too happy about it, but
Oh, that'd be so funny.
it seems as if that isn't the case. That happening, but
Yeah.
still fucking hilarious.
So I want to mention real quick the Bill Masterton Trophy, the trophy given to people that have shown perseverance through adversity. Last year it went to Bobby Ryan. He went into rehab for basically an entire year, came back, immediately scored a hat trick, and did amazing stuff in the games that he played. Won that last year. This year it went to Oscar Lindblom, who was a finalist last year. Lost to Bobby Ryan. But they gave it to him this year. He is a second-year player who...
He had bone cancer.
Yeah, bone cancer.
Damn.
Cancer of his fucking bones. For the Philadelphia Flyers. The Philadelphia Flowers. Damn.
No, that's Pittsburgh. Well, Vegas now, but
Damn.
No, I think we found the WHL as the associate.
Yeah. I think he deserves it. People are upset, like, well, he was nominated last year for the same thing, and it's weird to get the vote 2 years in a row. And to them, I say, fuck you. He had bone cancer. Eat a dick. It's his.
Who else?
Go
are
eat
the
a bone.
I was about to say, who are the other runner-ups for the thing? Like, who else had a fucked up story this year?
Hold on. I actually don't remember the finalists. It was Dumba and Marlowe were the two.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Bone cancer.
Dumba kept getting called dumbass because he used to have 55 on his back, so he just couldn't recover from it.
Listen, Patrick Marlowe had to fight through being 87 years old every game. And it's quite the feat. Yeah, so those were the Masterton
by the
Trophy
way,
finalists.
Just gonna update you with Nathan McKinnon's thoughts as we go. I forgot to do this. He said Kale was robbed.
Nice, good.
And he's right.
Of course he would, because he's right.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
He also said, "Are you trolling the dog?" Which is fucking hilarious. It's so funny. Somebody was like second round exit again, and he was like, Are you trolling the dog? And I was like, oh my god, I love you.
Next week's episode is just going to be us live reacting to Nathan McKinnon playing Fortnite. Mark it on your calendars.
No.
Another notable one I wanted to talk about, the GM of the Year award voted on by GMs, so you know
Anger.
it doesn't mean anything. Given to Lou Lamoriello of the New York Islanders.
The guy who gave Devon Taves away for 2 seconds. What a general manager.
Yeah, but
Guy who
Jake,
was
he
robbed.
traded 2 garbage players for 2 all right players that randomly started playing good. So he got the GM of the year because his fucking kind of shitty trade worked out anyway.
Now, notably, they vote on this after the second round of the playoffs, not before the playoffs start.
He also
which
his
is
trades
stupid.
didn't work out. Who the fuck did he get?
He got Zajac and Palmieri.
Yeah, Palmieri didn't do shit. He was
Yeah, but
pointless in
Zajac-
like 8 games.
Yeah, but Zajac randomly started doing good in the playoffs, and so did Palmieri a little bit.
Palmieri had
win
his
out.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Which
the,
is why
the
they
thing
gave
I
it
would
to
say
him.
is best GM, nay.
Nope.
That belongs to one Joe Sakic.
It's a dog shit award in an old boys club that voted for each other. They decided it was Lou's year. It's fine. I don't give a fuck. It's stupid, and fuck them. So like the thing that does bug me a little bit though is that because they vote on this like after the second round is done, Joe Sakic didn't even make the top 3. The winner was Lou Lamoriello, like we said. Second place was Marc Bergevin of the Montreal Canadiens, who nobody in their right mind would have voted for had they not gotten out of the second round.
I don't know. He got Toffoli in there.
That wasn't because Bergevin did something good. It's because the GM for Vancouver is like the worst motherfucker at his job on the face of the planet. To the point where
No,
like
you're
fans are following him around at the grocery store trying to like
Assassinate
document
him?
whether or not he's gonna come back or not.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, I'm pretty sure Vancouver fans are getting to the point where they actually might like flip his fucking car and just be like, bitch, try to get home now.
They just hire a hitman. Or they continually just make it so that he can't get to the arena or the office by like sabotaging his means of transportation.
Okay, actually no. Their master plan is every time they walk by him, if his phone's out, they just fucking knock his phone out of his hand and break it. And so it's like, no, you can't fucking call anybody now, bitch. Stop calling people. Waste our money.
Third place was Bill Zito for the Florida Panthers. I kind of agree with this one. I think he's a top 3 guy for sure.
I was about to say, he wasn't the guy who gave Bob that money, right?
No,
He's
he
the
was
new
not.
GM?
He was not the GM that gave Bob his contract. He has to live with the sins of that guy.
Florida sat there and was like, "You're paying that goalie what money? Get the fuck out of here! I need to replace your ass."
And fourth place was Joe Sakic, which is a crime against all humanity. Kyle Dubas for the Toronto Maple Leafs had 1 first place vote, and that was it. And I like to think that was Kyle Dubas voting for himself. Like, yeah, I am the best, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. You grabbed a bunch of old people, and your team, yes, you took the top of the North.
Yeah.
And you somehow lost the Bergevins, mighty wheel of people who can't score.
And finally, this one I thought was also going to be pretty obvious. Still frustrating. The Hart Memorial Trophy for the most valuable player in the league, won by Connor McDavid. Unanimously. Yeah. 100
Why
first
is it
place votes
frustrating?
for him. Because I want to see the Nate Dogg get it.
Yeah, but not this season.
He didn't deserve it this season.
I was about to say, like, I was fine with him not winning it this year, especially with looking at, again, McDavid's numbers. I'm still going to associate that with the fact that the North sucked.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
really,
no,
really
no, no.
badly.
There's a North team in the finals, so all of a sudden it's a way better than everybody thought.
No, it's not.
That's what's being said. McKinnon said he
Holy
was robbed,
shit.
jokingly, and then called McDavid slow.
I also saw that somebody asked Nathan McKinnon if he was fast. Him being Nathan McKinnon, he's like, "Nah, dude, I'm fucking slow." So, you know,
Like, the only thing I could be upset about the Hart voting was the fact that Austin Matthews magically was given second place on that shit.
well, he doubled up Nathan McKinnon in points. I guess is the
Hey,
most frustrating thing because I think it's a lot closer than that in reality. But you know,
I'm sorry, you're playing in a division who does not know defense. It's a fucking fact. The Canadians were the only team that could play defense. And that's why they're in the fucking finals. They knew how to shut down lines. Look at Austin Matthews' points during the postseason.
Yeah.
Look at McDavid's points during the postseason. And then look at McKinnon's.
Yep.
They're clearly different fucking teams when it actually gets to actual shit show time.
yeah, Nathan McKinnon is gonna get one eventually. It's just bound to happen.
No, he plays in Colorado. He won't.
Yeah, he plays in
It
the
just
West.
it sucks that he got absolutely fucked out of two of them, and then this year is just like, well, it was Connor McDavid's trophy.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed. Everyone's like, I mean, it is actually super funny to meme on Edmonton having consecutive Hart winners and still being the worst.
mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teams with good defense succeeding in the playoffs, I have a prospective Seth Jones trade request from one Aaron Portsline.
Okay.
Tyson Jost, Sampo Ranta, Justin Barron, and a first in 2021 for Seth Jones.
No.
Fuck no. You give him one of those things, not all fucking four of those things.
Are we giving them a back massage too, or what? Like,
uh,
Oh wait, Hannah, does this trade also include a conditional third round pick? Like,
Nope.
Like, are we just gonna be handing them literally all of our picks for 1 year and a bunch of players?
why do people think that Seth Jones is like as good as they think he is?
I mean, he was until this year.
Used to be.
They-
Used to be
the
I mean,
thing
defensively
is-
damn good.
it's 1 year and one weird ass fucking year. So I like.
This is my reasoning. They didn't watch him play this year, and also they were just like, we're going on the hype, and we're just gonna
Yeah, I
live on it.
mean, Taylor Hall had like 7 bad years after the fucking Hart Trophy. Not 7, you know what I mean? You listen. You know what I mean? And then he fucking played for Boston and tore it up again. So, you know, 1 bad year isn't enough for me to be like, wow, trash player, don't want him. But trash
My
person, don't want him.
impression was that he's actually been like not great for a few years now. I do agree with the locker room sentiment. I personally do not agree with some of his worldviews. Sometimes you work through that and you know make it work, but I think that like I get the feeling that there were some things going on in that Blue Jackets locker room that made a lot of people not like what was going on there from like a leadership perspective, and I feel like Seth Jones is part of that leadership. Now if he were to come here and he were to be in a completely different role and not be like a huge problem because he's not as big of a presence, then maybe. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't a need that we have that he fills to the point where we should absolutely go out of our way to get him.
Well, I feel like
Um,
what he can fill is like, because he's a bigger defenseman, so he can probably fill EJ's shoes when EJ is dead.
hmm.
And hopefully we lose Ryan Graves to the Kraken, but we might have to lose a leg in the process of trying to get that to happen.
Yeah. But I just for his contract too. Hold on.
Well, it's a year. It's a year long. It's a year left on it.
Yeah, but we're in crunch time, right? As far
Yeah,
as like all the
yeah,
people we need to re-sign and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
That's why we hope the Kraken take Graves.
well, so Comfer would have to be in this deal no matter what.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
In order to make it work, he's at 5.4. Seth Jones is, which isn't like undoable, especially if we get them to
Hmm.
take JT's contract.
I was about to say I didn't know that his current contract's that
I
high.
don't know if you actually make it happen with JT though.
You'd have to add more for sure. It's just for cap
I mean,
considerations.
If I was them, I'd for sure just. I mean, JT doesn't offer anything anymore, and he's too expensive. At that point, you're doing us a favor taking him off our hands.
No, and I'm not even saying that like JT Comfer is the centerpiece. I'm just saying he has to be involved.
I mean, from our perspective, but not theirs.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like the ask would be too high. I think that Seth Jones would be an improvement over like Graves and Timmins. But
I don't know about that. Graves, yeah.
well, Timmins as he currently is, if we're talking like the roof, like of their potential, I think Seth Jones when he's rolling on all cylinders so far, has been better than Timmins when he's rolling on all cylinders. But I mean, depends on who you're gonna get, right? Like what Seth Jones are you gonna get? What Connor Timmins are you gonna get? Because Timmins has been improving to the point where I really do like him in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean,
But
this
I
is
don't know.
like basically his first year. I don't assessing him as anything else other than a player who is in his first year of actual serious NHL play. Is
Yeah.
I was about
like
to
it's
say, like, if
like people talk about Timmins as if he is the player he is, and I'm not convinced.
I was about to say if he continues how he was going towards the end of the season and even a bit in the playoffs, I feel like Timmins could be a really good, really good defenseman.
I mean, he was our best defenseman in the playoffs. It was more of an issue with other people more than like specifically a
Yeah.
good thing for him. But
Yeah.
he was definitely our most consistent, level-headed, and like playing well D-man in that series against Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone's discussing Timmins right now is discussing Timmins as if he's a tenured player who like we know where he's at.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just saying you, but like Discords and Twitter and everyone's like,
Sure.
it's like he just had a bunch of years of not playing, had a whole bunch of time off and a bunch of injuries. Like this was his first year technically. Like obviously he played a few games before, but still.
Yeah.
Just assessing Timmins as like when you say like Timmins as he is now, or which Timmins do we get? Like it's different with him than Seth Jones because Timmins is, I mean, still a rookie in a lot of ways.
Sure. My larger
Seth
point is that
Jones.
like Seth Jones is probably better than some of the other players we have on the blue line, but not so much of an improvement that it's definitely something that we should go out of our way to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. People are like they want size on their blue line and they want experience, and I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if you want to fuck with it too much.
I was about to say, like, the only thing I can really see him truly replacing is a Graves or a Johnson. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Um,
That's all I would want him for.
he also grew up an Avalanche fan. The reason that he likes playing hockey is because when he was a kid, he was hanging out with Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg a lot. Like, so you have the story to go with it. But as we've seen with like those feel good Avalanche fan stories, they don't always translate to success on the ice. Matt Duchene.
Matt Duchene Hardcoff.
But it's a good story. I just don't know if it's a good fit. And I know that a lot of people root for the stories, especially in like the media and stuff like that, and I get it. I really do. I just people are making it out to be like this is their white whale, and if they let this chance slip by them, then Joe Sakic will never be able to fall asleep at night. And I don't think it's that severe. I don't think it's that super important to have happen. So, last time we also talked about some of the Colorado Avalanche salary cap situation and upcoming free agents. We do have some news on that front. Carl
yeah.
Soderberg will not be back. He is playing over in Europe now. He has a contract with a team over there. So he will not return.
Oh.
Rip and paste one old one eye. It was
Mhm.
it was a blast seeing you for one last time.
Yeah.
Even though you were not good here for that one last time. But it's fine.
Yeah. Um.
And then if I remember, there was one more signing. that
Yeah,
got done.
I'm trying to find his contract.
I think it was like a 1-year deal.
It was 1 year, 1 million, I think, was all it was.
Was just a 1-by-1. I just want to.
It might have been
looking
1
at-
by 2. I don't know.
Yeah. I was about to say, I think it was very.
You know, it could have been
cheap
2
because-
years actually. Yeah, you should find it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's insignificant for the most part, is what I'll say.
Just tweet AJ. Maybe AJ would know it off the top of his head if he's
I mean,
awake to answer us.
It's posted in Pod News, right? I thought.
Is it?
It's
Pretty sure I posted it.
It is a.
It is.
It is not
1-year deal. It doesn't have numbers on it, but it's a 1-year deal.
Okay.
So
I mean,
enough beating around the bush. Jonas Johansson is coming back. He has a new contract.
Sono Chino Sodome.
I thought he was gonna be gone, but you know,
No,
I think
no, Dubnik's gone.
Yeah.
Dubnik's fucking
Let
gone.
the man finish.
yeah, I thought he was gonna be gone. But I am interested to see if this guy can grow.
Yeah, I do believe I remember saying, I think he could probably be gone, but I also remember hearing that they're interested in seeing how he progresses over the next couple of years, so they might re-sign him.
Yeah.
I think that was my take on the discussion. I guess that seems like what's happening.
Yeah. I think that he is a perfectly fine de facto number 3 guy.
Yeah, I don't like him as a backup.
I don't like
It's a
him
rough one.
as a backup. I trust him a lot more than some of the other guys we had coming in that number 3 spot. This year he's going to be able to play a lot of games with the Colorado Eagles in order to try to like improve his game. So I think that the future JoJo that we end up seeing is probably going to be better than past JoJo. Obviously you don't know for sure. But I think that there is some definite potential there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, since we can't trust a certain Hunter Miska to do anything.
I
Yeah.
was thinking
Smeal.
something similar, but I felt like we beat that man down.
We almost
The
beat him right off
horseman.
the team.
I mean, the fans sure beat him off of Twitter.
Which is sad.
So another big piece of the puzzle that the Avalanche are going to have to re-sign during this offseason is Gabriel Landeskog, right? We talked about what his contract might look like. And over the last week, we saw a signing of a player that might be considered comparable to Landeskog, maybe a little bit worse. So maybe the number for Landeskog is a bit higher. But Ryan Nugent Hopkins was signed by the Edmonton Oilers to an 8-year deal for $5 million a year. What that means for Landeskog, who knows? Because term is going to be something that is different for player to player. Whether he would want 8 years or whether we would give 8 years is going to be completely between Gabriel Landeskog and Joe Sakic. I think that if we locked him up at an 8x5 like Hopkins, I think that would be a good deal for the Avalanche long term, even if he starts to kind of decline and not play.
I'm sorry, did you just call him Hopkins?
Yeah, Nuge. Mr.
Hopkins?
Mr. RNH himself.
I don't know if in all of my years watching hockey I've ever heard somebody call him Hopkins.
Yeah.
I hear Nugent
Right,
Hopkins a lot. I hear Nuge and I hear RNH, but I've never heard Hopkins.
There you go. It's a new. We're starting it here now.
Yeah.
Legitimately, like broke my brain. Yeah,
Born
let's see
into
if
this
he can.
world now.
Can we give him what Hopkins gets? What? He will be referred to as none other than the Nuge.
So yeah. I don't know whether or not we would give Landeskog 8 years, whether he'd want it. I think it's not a horrible at $5 million a year though.
I was about to say
I think you do right by your
I'm
captain.
I was about to say, I feel like if Landeskog like walked up to Joe Sakic and was like, "Give me that deal," Joe Sakic would sit there and be like, "Okay, yeah, totally, yeah,
Done. It is done.
But you fucking go.
Especially
money.
if you're only giving him $5 million, you have to give him the term. If you don't give him the money, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's
I don't know, like,
making
no
five
matter
and a
what,
half right now, right? So that would be
yeah,
Yeah, would it be
yeah.
a pay
Nuge
cut?
took a pay cut and his play got better, so that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I think I read that his previous contract was higher.
I believe so. I can double check for you real quick.
Well, the thing would be is I think Nugent Hopkins is sitting there going like, I want to be with McDavid and Draisaitl and not break this team's bank.
Well, that's the thing. Also, is I mean, it is commonly thought that he benefits from the players he plays with.
Yeah.
Which,
His
it takes a
previous-
certain kind of player to play with good players, but
Yeah. His previous
what I was saying.
contract was a 7x6.
okay, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, you sign Landeskog to 8 years. That second half is going to suck to a degree.
Yeah.
But also the last couple of years of that, going by the 5-year estimate, the last 3 years of that, I think, end up being okay because the cap will presumably get way higher.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll be growing.
But yeah, you do right by your captain.
Yeah.
He plays a pretty physical game, so you'd think he might fall off a cliff pretty badly, but you don't fuck with that dude, I don't think.
No. You don't fuck with Landy.
Yeah,
Gabe the Babe will have his money.
You don't troll the dog, and you don't fuck with Landy. Can the podcast title be "Are You Trolling the Dog?" With 2 G's, of course.
Of course.
Well, yeah. Okay, so the podcast is gonna open with keyboard.
Are you trolling the dog, Dan?
Yeah, I don't think you fuck with Landy. Nuh-uh.
No.
I don't think you give him whatever he wants to an unreasonable degree, but I don't think he wants it. I don't think he asks for it either. You never know with agents. I feel like a lot of players like just defer to agents, and they should, but sometimes a player is a certain way and you think they'll act a certain way, but the agents are also knowing that they're a certain way and are compensating for that.
Yeah.
I'll say like how Torrey Krug's agent fucking stole that man a lot of money.
And he sucks.
That agent fucking robbed St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give Landy bucks, man.
Speaking of robbing St. Louis, Vladimir Tarasenko is on the trade market now.
Is that confirmed or is that just speculative?
I haven't actually seen anything say about actual confirmation, but that was the rumor mill going on a couple days ago. And I saw people being like, Joe Sakic needs to be on the phone with Doug Armstrong right now, which I maybe don't agree with.
Joe Sakic needs to be on the phone with everybody and just trying to sweeten deals the entire time.
Yeah, like if we want to get like JT Compher plus like some prospects or like picks or whatever, depending on what kind of situation the Blues think they might be in. If they're moving out a Vladimir Tarasenko, then like maybe, but I don't think that we need another top 6 winger. Like, I think we're pretty good there, personally.
I was about to say, I feel like we need a center, but no teams really have centers that they're just handing out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess if you can get Vladimir Tarasenko for a fair deal, then sure. But also, my man is injured on the regular, and it is not good for him.
I don't want him at all.
Yeah.
Specifically because of the injuries. Like, now obviously he came back and had a pretty okay game. Too little, too late.
Wasn't there also reports at the beginning of the year that he was having issues with the fact that like O'Reilly was named captain and shit like that?
Oh yeah, he didn't like that O'Reilly was named captain. I remember that. That is something that happened.
Maybe
Like,
we should give this guy a shot after all. Smile.
Well, I'm not saying giving the guy a shot, but like that might be a part of why St. Louis is trying to ship him.
Yeah, just a locker room
But I mean,
thing.
like his grind, he came out and said his grind was fucked at the end of the fucking playoffs and shit too. Like, that
Oh,
dude
yeah.
is.
Dude was never healthy. He literally played injured.
He was
Yeah.
a top player in the league, but now I'm just like, you know, don't put that evil on me.
I think I agree for the most part. I think that, like, I guess when I say fair deal, I don't mean like, oh, we're not getting robbed. I mean, like, we have to take into account that he's probably not going to play for 90% of the season because he is injured that often. I don't know.
We just have to pull a Tampa Bay, put him on injuries, and then put him into the playoffs.
He was sick on my line in like NHL 17 or whatever.
Real good guy.
Tried to take me to a history museum in NHL 21. That was cool.
Yeah. Dougie Hamilton was there, I hear.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought that was weird, but I guess if there's locker room issues and I guess taking the injuries into account, I can see why St. Louis might be wanting to move him out without necessarily signaling that they're trying to rebuild or anything like that. So Kirill the Thrill, Calder Cup, not Calder Cup, Calder Trophy, because the naming convention is very cool. The Calder Cup is the AHL championship. The Calder Trophy is Rookie of the Year.
I was about to say he probably could have won the Calder Cup as well while getting the Calder Trophy.
He's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go
Like
down
he-
to the AHL, win a Calder Cup and Calder Trophy. It'll be sick.
Yeah, Kirill the Thrill, the Calder winner, decided he might want to do 3 years Super League.
So he's had an entry-level deal with the Minnesota Wild for a while, but this is his first year actually playing for them, and it's just the last year of the deal on his contract. So they need to re-sign him for money, right? He is a restricted free agent, which means that the team has negotiating rights with him for a year before anybody else can talk to him. Now, I've heard some kind of conflicting reports. I've heard that a lot of the talk about this was speculation, but there was talk that maybe Kaprizov goes to Russia for a year and just plays in the KHL for a year until his negotiating limit with the Wild expires, and then he hits free agency and goes to sign for a good team. Which I think would be very funny, personally, as somebody who does not like the Wild.
Like, my only issue is, like, I mean, that team good. Like, that team was actually, like, half decent. And then he's just gonna just say, well, yep, fuck this place.
Half
Fuck
decent in a
Minnesota.
horse shit fucking division, though.
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah.
against California and shit.
The thing is, how much better is the West gonna be, or sorry, we would be the Central again.
Yeah, we'd be the Central.
Like the Central is going to be mostly
Well,
like
it's going to be better than the West this year and
Yeah.
the Pacific next year. Because the Pacific gets all the California teams, the Flames, the Vancouver.
The Central's going to be
Seattle.
really good. The
Well,
Central's going to be really good next year. It also doesn't matter.
well,
The strength of the Central matters a lot less because they will be playing other teams now too.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Um,
Well, because I saw people like argue like they would have to play against us, which would suck for them. St. Louis, which they seem like they did already against Arizona, a lot because Arizona's going to be coming in here.
Yeah.
Chicago is a train wreck right now.
especially right now.
Like an absolute train wreck. The Jets are still relying on 2 players to keep that team alive. And yeah, that's mostly like
they just have a really good top 6. They just don't have a defense or depth.
I guess so. Yeah.
Nashville is weaker than they once were. I think they're
Is
finally
Nashville coming back
seeing-
in?
Especially now, man.
Yeah.
Is Nashville coming back to the
Yeah,
Central?
Nashville's coming back to the Central. Why would they not?
I thought they were getting kicked out of the Central to go to an Eastern division because Arizona was moving into ours.
Well, no, Arizona's getting kicked out of their division because Seattle's coming in.
Can we also kick Nashville out? Fucking hate having having to deal with them. Fuck going to Tennessee.
Because we were the only division with 7 teams, so now every division has 8 teams.
Well,
Can we make a trade? Can we bring the Red Wings back?
We'll trade
1-for-1 trade.
the Red Wings for the Nashville 1-for-1.
Red Wings, home of Alex Tanguay. You
Red
saw that,
Wings,
right?
Home of rivalry.
Yeah, he got hired at some position by the Red Wings yesterday.
Weird. He's
Traitor as fuck.
He's been working for NHL Network for the past few years, right?
I have no idea. I don't interface with that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's some sort of thing for fucking the Red Wings now. The traitor.
Oh, he's their power play coach. It looks like.
Oh,
Oh,
we
dang.
need a new one of those. He should have come here.
We need one of those.
He is replacing Dan Balsma. Interesting. I don't give a fuck about the Red Wings. Like, who cares?
Balls in the mouth.
But
I
yeah,
was thinking, like, do I point it out? No.
But yeah, I think that the Central next year isn't going to be as good as it has been in the past. I just don't. I think that the Pacific is going to be more of a trash fire. It's going to be Vegas and 7 shitty teams. So
Sure. I was about to say with that division, the Kraken actually might just make it to the playoffs. Just by the fact that the rest of the teams in there suck ass.
yeah, I just think I want the Kraken to like beat out Vegas for the #1 spot. That'd be sick.
Dan Balsma's going to work for the Kraken.
But yeah, I mean, bringing it back to Kaprizov, I can see why maybe he doesn't want to go back to the Wild. I think that him holding out like this could be bad for him on the free agent market. Fuck.
It's literally just his agent trying to strong arm. I don't think it's worth putting too much thought into it.
Sure.
He'll get signed by the Wild. He's not going to go back to Russia.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. I just think that it happening would be so fucking funny because fuck the Wild.
No, totally. It'd be hilarious. Everybody involved who is in the know seems to not be worried about it.
Yeah.
Whereas usually it's like one person will say it's not a problem and everyone else would be like, it is a problem. And
yeah,
that's just not how it's going. So
the way that I saw it is that the inciting factor was that he was seeking out a contract from his old KHL team. And people were like, oh, is he going to do the thing? And then I heard talk like, no, that's like normal. That is just him making sure he has a hockey contract somewhere in case something bad happens with the Wild, and it's completely normal.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, I think that makes sense. I wish that this fantasy land where he doesn't come to play for the Wild happens, but probably not.
Same.
I actually had a quick question. What is the ruling of offer sheeting a player again?
Depends on how much you offer him, but like depending on the amount of money that you offer him, you have to
So
forfeit to the team that would have his rights, a certain amount of draft picks. I think like for Kaprizov, if we were to offer sheet him, he would likely be a 4 years of first round draft pick sort of offer sheet.
okay, well, because I did hear somebody, I think it was on the Steve Dingle podcast. They mentioned that there was rumors of people, somebody trying to offer sheet Makar, and they sat there and was like, "There's no fucking way it happens."
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
offshoots are magical Christmas land, and when they do happen, the team just laughs, says thanks for getting our deal done, and signs it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like, I sat there and was like, "Well, like, what would make the Avalanche sit there and go like, It's like, would it be a fucking $10 million fucking contract just handed
I
out?"
think they'd sign a $10 million contract for McCarr.
For the boys, what is an offer sheet?
Boys, what do you think an offer sheet is?
An offer sheet?
Yeah. Based on the context we just provided, talking about them, what do you think an offer sheet is?
I mean, I would assume that it would have information about the offer being made.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Dylan, do you have any guesses as to what an offer sheet might be?
Come on,
No.
class, you can do it. You can't say no, bitch. That's not an option.
It's a sheet with offers on them.
You motherfucker. You put less effort into that than Nintendo puts into Pokemon. I can't believe it.
Damn.
All right, so an offer sheet is something that a team can do to a player that is a restricted free agent where they say like, hey, we will give you this contract in order to come play for us. The player then decides whether or not they want to do it, and if they say yes, the team that owns their rights, as it were, decides whether or not they are going to let that happen or if they are going to match their offer. If they match the offer, the rights to that player stays with them. They give them that contract, and that's fine. And if the team that offer sheeted the player actually gets to sign that player, they surrender a bunch of trade assets to the team that owned that player's rights.
To the
To the point where you might say it's not worth it to do it for that team.
Yes.
I was about to say that's why trying to steal some team's superstar is very fucking hard to do.
Yeah, so I was saying that Kirill Kaprizov because the amount of assets that you give up is based on the amount of money you are giving the player. So if we wanted to offer sheet Kaprizov, one, we'd have to pay him a fuck ton of money that we probably don't have because of our salary cap situation. Also, it would be a number that we would give up 4 years of first round draft picks in a row to do. Which is
bad.
Not good.
You want to have first round draft picks because that's how you get more players. And the good players are in the first round, unless you're the Lightning.
No. The Lightning is fucking struck gold with Brandon Point.
Like 7 times in a row.
Yep. So with the Cale Makar thing, the rumor that somebody's gonna offer sheet Cale Makar. Oh boy, what's gonna happen? Well, for one, the Avalanche have already portioned off a segment of their salary cap that is available to them to make sure that they are able to re-sign Cale Makar, right? So a team offer sheeting Cale Makar just wouldn't work because the Avalanche would be able to match whatever is being offered, like pretty much like right away.
And then we would get a ton of draft picks. And if we didn't want to draft, I mean, never mind. I'm stupid. I just brain farted. If we gave them up, we'd get a ton of draft picks, but we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like,
But if we did, we'd get a ton of draft picks and trade for Jack Eichel.
I just imagine there's somebody just walks up and is like, all right, we're gonna give Cale Makar $15 million.
Jesus.
Yeah. No. I want McDavid money and then some.
I swear to God, everybody that's saying like Jack Eichel to Vegas, shut up. I don't want that to happen. Please, never.
I was about to say, I keep hearing Jack Eichel to LA, and I sit there and go like, no, I don't want to say that. No, please don't.
Speaking of Jack Eichel to LA, Victor Arvidsson. Trade broke
Actually,
today.
speaking of Jack Eichel to LA, apparently they're finally figuring out how to let him get that surgery in Buffalo.
Oh, that's good, actually.
So maybe that works out fine.
What, is he gonna miss like the first few weeks of the season then?
It's a 3-month recovery time, so he's missing a lot of it already.
Yep.
He gets it today, right? Like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's on the team. They fucked themselves on that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, apparently there's a bunch of stuff they can do, and he wants that one surgery specifically. So.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Like.
I don't know.
Whatever, man. Fucking. I don't give a shit. Figure it out.
Jack Eichel remains a Buffalo Sabre. Sabres fans can stay moderately happy, I guess.
I don't know why he would stay.
That.
I don't know why he would stay as a Buffalo Sabre.
I mean, well, he doesn't really have a choice right now, but.
You're right, but when next contract comes up, you just tell the Buffalo Sabres, you pay me $15 million for 8 years, or I'm not playing here.
I want McDavid money and then some.
give me double McDavid money, and
he's
I
like,
might debate about staying here.
He's like, Buffalo, you offer sheet McCart for $16 million right now.
Oh no.
So yeah, going back, Victor Arvidsson was traded to LA today for a second-round draft pick in this next upcoming draft and a third-round the year after. I've been kind of floundering back and forth as to whether or not I think this was a good deal for LA. I think it was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, yes.
LA robbed Nashville.
So initially, because I like woke up and saw that this trade broke, and I was like, "Huh, that's really good for LA."
I know what you're gonna say, and I will address it, but
yeah. And I was like, well, because Victor Arvidsson is one of those like good depth guys down in Nashville that I don't like, right? So like picking up a good player like that on a team that like sorely needs the depth, I think was a good move for them. And then I looked at his stats and I was like, wow, he's actually been kind of trashed the last 3 years, and he's been fighting off injury for a while. And then I remembered that this year's draft doesn't actually mean anything because it's all magic. Nobody knows what that second round draft pick is actually worth. So yeah, LA actually got a good one here.
I don't know, Dakota. There could be some brain points in that fucking draft.
LA doesn't have the infrastructure to make anybody good.
No, but I'm just saying, man, there could be some fucking diamonds out there nobody knows about.
But yeah,
LA would just try and polish a turd. No, yeah, I mean, even if he's hurt and he's been bad, he's been in Nashville.
Yes, that's another thing about these last 2 years, the COVID years. Like, in addition to them being weird COVID years that like you kind of take with a grain of salt, Nashville's actually been trash these last 2 years as well. So who knows?
Well, and I actually saw someone unironically type they basically traded the equivalent of a first round pick, and I had to like rub my eyes and then like cry for a little bit at how somebody could be so wrong about something. That's not how that works out value-wise, you fucking moron.
Where
But
where do you find these wrong takes?
The internet.
Twitter, Discord, that's all over the place. During this whole thing, I've been reading some shit, some stupid conversation about Seth Jones where people have been wrong. I'm just,
Jesus Christ.
people are dumb. People like sharing their stupid fucking opinions and then, not owning up to them when they're proven wrong.
Damn.
So yeah, good on LA, I guess. But I
Meh.
think that the bigger thing that I am interested about in this is that Nashville seems to finally accept that their window is over. They are not a cup contender anymore. They need to move out some pieces to like be mediocre for a few years, and that makes me personally happy because fuck the Predators.
Does trading Arvidsson really say that though?
I think so.
A player who's been bad for 3 years and then just had a bunch of injuries? I don't.
On a team that's been bad.
Yeah, but still, I don't think that is like,
I-
them hitting the reset or blowing it up. If they start trading some other shit, maybe.
I was about to say, I think this like gives you like the feeling that they might start blowing it up, but it doesn't say that they are blowing it up.
Yeah, it starts the path, but I don't think that's enough to like make that claim yet.
Yeah.
Now, Philip Forsberg did put an Instagram story up with a thumbs down emoji on it today.
They were probably homies.
Yeah, so now everyone's like, he wants to leave. There's no way he wants to be in Nashville anymore because they traded away his friend and like all the. But maybe they do trade him, and then I'm like, yeah, they're blowing it up. But for now, meh.
I don't know. Henry Lundqvist was mad when Zuccarello got traded.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Nathan McKinnon didn't like Barry getting traded, but like,
Yeah,
they're
like
they're big boys. They know.
They know
Are you
that
trolling
this
the
is
dog right now?
Are you trolling the dog? Dude, I hope you know all of next season, whenever anything remotely interesting happens to Nathan McKinnon. Dude, fuck. Hey, Nate, I know you're a gamer, etc. That finishes. Are you trolling the dog right now?
See, I now just imagine as he's throwing Garland's helmet at him, he's just like, "You trolling the dog?" and just fucking hits him with them.
Dude, I need to get the clip of fucking Data asking him that question, get the clip from his stream, and just fucking put it over his face. Are you trolling the dog right now?
Yeah. So I shared this with Jake the other night. I guess I'll share it here.
Don't. It's not worth it. Delete this. You were wrong then. You're gonna be wrong now too.
You said that maybe I had a point, but that it was funny that I had to be in a haze to even try to glean any sort of meaning out of this.
I was just trying to placate you. I was afraid of you.
But yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night to take a piss, as one does, right? And I was thinking about that stupid fucking Dater quote.
Yeah.
And I think I understand what he was trying to ask, guys. I think I know the question he was actually trying to get to, but was too like inexplicably bad at human communication to try to ask.
Oh my god.
So Nathan McKinnon's deal is that he's very competitive, and he lets his competitiveness get the best of him to like the point where like he's got a sports therapist and shit like that, right? To like try to manage like all of his shit. So I think that when Dater starts off that question with, Nate, I know you're a gamer and all that. I think that's him trying to like address that, right? And I think that thinking too much is meaning like, hey, I know you're trying to like be competitive and like put yourself on a higher platform than everybody and hold yourself to these standards. And maybe like you just say fuck it. Let's not think that anymore and just go out there and do it. So I think what Data is trying to ask is, are you guys expecting too much from yourselves? Are you guys in your own heads about all of this shit? Do you think that is weighing you down? And do you think the answer might be like just let that shit go because it doesn't matter and just go play the fucking game?
Just say fuck it.
Just say fuck it.
Fuck it.
Now this isn't to say that Dater like necessarily has a good point or anything, or that he isn't like stupid for framing it the way that he did. But I think that I may have found the sage wisdom in Dater's question.
See, now
How
if
long
you
did it take to translate this? Like a couple weeks?
Yeah, I think you put a lot of needless effort into something that didn't deserve it, unless you've stooped to his level. You are now as dumb as Adrian Dater. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you,
F.
the amount of time it took me was standing up while peeing at like 2 a.m.
Damn, I could have sworn you were a sitting while peeing kind of person.
No.
Damn.
But yeah, that's the time and effort I put into it. And it was like, wait a minute, hold up.
Well, you sure do put a lot of time and effort into explaining it after the fact.
Exactly. Now you all can be cursed with this knowledge. We're all cursed.
I think the
No.
funniest thing is that everybody kind of understood it, but just wrote it off as being dumb. And you're the only person in the universe who put any effort into digging deeper.
Hmm.
And there's some nice humor there.
Yeah. So he took that quote and he was like, "But what if there's more?" And he had to
Jesse,
dig deep.
What
we
does
need
it
to cook.
mean? What does it all mean?
The numbers, Mason. The gamers, Mason.
All right. So I guess there's like one more piece of like I guess technically two more pieces of news, but one ties into it. So like we're gonna kind of cover them together. Gary Bettman had his like State of the Union type thing where he does one big press conference a year, talks to reporters. He did it last week. They asked him several questions about like why the referees are shit. To which he replied, "No, they're not. They're actually the greatest at their job in the world, and they officiate the game the exact same way in the playoffs as they do the regular season." So essentially, he spent half the press conference there just lying to everybody's fucking face.
Yeah. When I heard about that, I just started laughing.
Yeah, I mean,
Seriously.
he has no obligation to like say anything about that, and he probably would want to stand behind his guys publicly and then talk to them privately about it, something like any issues. I
Sure.
would say. I don't know if it's super noteworthy.
I think that there are better ways to address it, as far as like ways to save face and stand behind your people while also acknowledging that there is a problem rather than just sitting there and being like, no, there is no problem. You guys are stupid. Get your fucking eyes checked, idiots.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he has no he doesn't owe us that acknowledgement, I don't think. He's a slave to the owners and they'll handle it.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, the only thing I could, like, want from him is just him just to go, like, yeah, there's an issue here, but I'm not going to sit here and call out names and say who's being the worst. And that's it. Like,
Even just
address.
say like we've seen that there is like displeasure as far as the consistency of the officiating is something we see every year. If there's like a noticeable difference or something going on this year that we haven't seen in previous years, that's something that we can address. But for now, we're just here to play that hockey. Like I think
Yeah.
that would be a lot more reasonable than just being like, these guys, there's no one like them on the planet. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Did he say that? People don't know what they're talking about.
I guess not. It's not that, but I think that the inference, between like, they officiate the game in exactly the same way in the playoffs as they do the regular season, when it is clear that they do not, to anybody that has eyeballs that has watched a hockey game, and then just saying that in a public, like, address that that is actually the case. I think that you can infer that.
I'll say it
And I
as
don't
the
think
argument.
it's super unfair to infer that.
Yeah.
Well, join us next week for Jake's Join us next week for Jake's Pro
Nice
Gary
execution.
Bettman. Pro Gary Bettman podcast. My Life with Barry.
Oh,
Barry.
He loves. Sorry, fuck.
Barry Gedman.
Barry Gedman.
I sure hope this isn't Chris's blood.
Listen, the execution on that was.
Listen,
Did I go full Perry level? I just.
Tune in next week for more broken English from the
Sorry,
boys.
I have Barry on the brain because I was watching some Resident Evil before we did this.
Barry D's nuts.
My Life with Gary, Gary Bettman podcast.
Yeah, I mean, understanding his role and not expecting him to like bow down to what I want is different than
Yeah.
being pro Bettman.
I saw your Gary Bettman fan club T-shirt that you have in your
You
closet.
have not seen the Gary Bettman section of my homework folder. Thank you very much.
I know on the inside of that Avalanche Stadium Series jersey you have is a picture of Gary Bettman.
It's that meme where it's a soldier looking at his helmet saying, "Remember what you fight for." And in the picture of my helmet, there's Gary Bettman.
You're literally just standing here saying, Dakota, if Gary Bettman was lying to us, then why would he tell us the truth about the Sun long being the enemy of the NHL? He admitted to all of us that the NHL owners are all vampires, which is something we knew. He told us that to our faces. And you don't believe him when he says that the NHL officiating crew is the best in the world?
No.
Gary Bettman in a Sylveon fursuit.
Double no.
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 Yeah. No.
How do you know it's not Gary Bettman in that fucking fursuit? You don't.
Every furry anybody's ever known is actually Gary Bettman.
Gary Bettman's in this picture too.
Oh.
He's a well-reasoned man, well-worn, well-traveled. Gary Bettman is anonymous.
Oh.
Um,
Gary Bettman is the homework folder.
So another thing that I saw some people concerned about during the Gary Bettman presser was the response that they had to questions involving the allegations behind the Chicago Blackhawks organization and their alleged systemic cover-up of sexual
can you
assault
say-
and harassment.
Can you say that city's name again?
Chicago.
Okay, it sounded like you said Chicago that first time.
Chicago.
I don't know if anybody else heard that. We'll need to
Chicago.
check the tapes, but I swear to God, I heard Chicago. I was like, what?
I would say half my brain's turned off right now. Like,
Yeah, this shitty podcast is too long.
We're actually
Need to
not
hit-
making bad time.
You need to hit the
I'll say
sack,
we're
bro.
we're doing fine. I'm just not doing fine.
Dylan's right next to you. You can hit that sack.
Damn.
Oh, no. I'd rather hit my own sack, thank you.
You hit your own sack?
Oh no.
I was saying punches Dylan in the dick. What the fuck? Is that what you're into? Holy shit.
No.
His late nights involve him nunchucking himself in the fucking balls.
Yo. That sounds fucking terrible.
He has a rake in his room that he just steps on constantly.
Oh.
Oh.
Is
That's the only
way
pull
can
I
get
need in my
done.
life.
So, anyways, there are some allegations involving covering up sexual harassment and abuse in the Chicago Blackhawks organization. They asked Gary Bettman about it. There are people that are not happy with his answers. I don't know how I feel one way or another. I do know that the situation is very serious, and I hope that if there is any proof of wrongdoing, that justice can be carried out. But however, it's just kind of beyond our scope to really get into the nitty-gritty details about all of this.
I was about to add on, like, the only things I've heard of with this case is that It was 2010 team, right?
Yeah,
So,
so this is
issue?
all from 10 years ago.
Yeah. So 2010 team had the head higher up staff has their current GM, the
Stan
GM
Bowman.
of Sam Bowman, the GM of the Montreal Canadiens, the GM of the Winnipeg Jets, and fucking who else? I'm trying to remember who else was on this like upper echelon staff that people were like accusing that they knew what was going on. Oh, Joe Quenneville, coach of the
Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers. But yeah, it's just like a bunch of things, just accusations and shit, to the point where Bergevin was interviewed and he said, I didn't know any of that shit was happening, and you can put me on record for that.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of people are in a crossfire right now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taves had to make a statement and shit, and like, people are ducking for cover because bullets are flying.
Yeah. It goes
It is
pretty
the biggest
deep.
shit show. Sexual harassment bad is, I
Yeah.
think, as far as we need to get on this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Covering up of sexual harassment, also not tight.
I would go as far as to say bad.
Yeah.
It's,
You could make that claim for sure and probably be right about it.
I'd say it's very, very, very bad. So don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Chicago's been in a shit place on the ice, and now it's about to get very weird off the ice.
Chicago.
Chicago?
Chicago.
It's
Chicago.
been weird off the
Uh,
ice forever, bro.
Chicago.
Chicago.
But yeah. Well, there's not really much to say. It goes deep, and there are a lot of people that could be potentially impacted by this. If they did have a hand in anything that went on, they deserve to be, I would say. But we're not the fucking, we're not the people investigating this case, so there's
And we're
just
also not
really
31
much.
thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
I have no insight other than shit bad, don't do. If they
Yep.
did do,
Yeah.
punish.
So that's all that I have on our show notes. Is there anything else that you think we should cover?
Well, I mean, we have to do our weekly segment, where we discuss our polls.
Oh, okay.
It's a joke.
Um,
It's a Pokemon TCG podcast.
yeah, where we cover 27 other card games as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually
Yeah.
31 other card games. The next season, it's going to be 32.
Oh, got you. Next week
Mm.
we'll get into our primer on how to play the Sword Girls card game.
That and Shadowverse. They just released 3D Jiggle Physics cards, and oof.
That's right. Anime as leaders.
I was waiting for it.
All right, so let's end this. Thank you for hanging out with us this week. We really appreciate your time. We will come back to you once the Stanley Cup Finals are done. If you want to follow the show, you can do so very easily at Grit Hockey Cast on Twitter. If you want to follow me personally, I am Kumodere. That is Kumodere. If you want to follow Jake, you can find him on Twitter at.
Can you do me last?
You are last.
You are
There's
last.
nothing else.
That's the fucking joke.
Yep, that's right.
Anime as leaders.
That's right.
Anime ass leaders.
as leaders. Yes.
Dude, okay, so does that mean that we're gonna get the crossover between anime ass leaders and card ass?
No.
They just end the pod on that. Leave them to ponder on that one for a while.